All right, everyone, so our first lesson in this unit on exponents, we're just going to go back and kind of introduce and review two concepts that you guys have already done a little bit with. So the very first topic, you can see at the top of the page the word monomial. And the word mono in the front of that word should indicate to you that we're going to be talking about one term. Mono means one. So to fill in the question, what is a monomial? It is an algebraic expression consisting of only one term. Now, when I say one term, it could mean a variety of things. We could have a variable like x, we could have a solid number like 6, or we could have a number multiplied by a variable such as 5x, or what we're really going to see more of in this chapter are numbers multiplied by variables with exponents, something like 3x squared or 9x squared y to the 7th power. All of those things that I just wrote down there are examples of what we would call a monomial, only one term. So in order to begin this, we're reviewing a skill that we have learned in previous lessons where we are going to add and subtract these monomials. And in order to do that, notice this first bullet point here. It says variables and exponents must be the same in order to add or subtract. So if you can't combine anything, you are going to leave it as it was written. You could rewrite it if you want, or you could write that it's already simplified. But please make a note that the variable and the exponents have to match in order to combine the coefficients. And I know it's been a little while, but hopefully you remember that coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So I'm going to work down the left-hand column here, and then I'm going to wait a few seconds or so and allow you to pause the video if you want and work down the even column on your own, and then you could come back and I'm going to go over those answers with you as well. So for number 1, 17 minus 25. It's basic math. You could use a phone calculator for this. All you have to do is subtract the numbers. It would equal -8, and you keep the variable the same, so -8x. In number 3, the variables and exponents match, so you're allowed to add -15 to a +6, and that would equal -9, a to the 3rd, b, c. Notice I didn't change the variable or exponents. Now in number 5, you have the letters a, b, and ac. Those are not the same. So in this case, it is already simplified. I am just going to leave it. I'm going to keep the answer the same. In number 7, you have mn, which they match, and so you can add -8 with 9, which would equal a +1 mn. In number 9, be careful, it is not 0. -25 minus another 25 puts us further in the negatives at -50 xy squared. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense so far. You'll notice when you get to number 11, we start to add in several variables. So in number 11, we can combine the y terms together. 3 plus 4 would equal 7y. And we can combine the z terms together. So 9z minus 3z would equal a +6z. Notice I included the plus sign since it was a positive number. You do need to keep a symbol in between if there are two terms. In number 13, you can combine your 13y squared with the +4y squared. That would equal 17y squared. And then you can add your plain y's together. 9y minus 31y is -22y. In the bottom section, you'll notice they added some words, and with these words, you will notice that we want to pick out the keyword. In number 15, sum indicates to us that we're going to be using addition. So I'm going to add these two terms together, and 16 plus negative 5 would equal 11y squared. For number 17, it says subtract 9a from negative 15a. Be careful in this case because you're going to take and subtract in a different order than it is written. The variables do match, so when I take negative 15 minus 9, my answer would be negative 24a. So hopefully this concept's making sense. As I said before, it's this concept of combining like terms. If the letters and exponents match, you can add or subtract the coefficients. If you'd like to pause the video here, you can, and you could work through the even column on your own. I am going to, in just a matter of seconds, go over to that even column, and I will fill in the answers on that even column for you as well, so you can make sure you did them correctly. Okay, so in number 2, you should have negative 17y squared. Number 4, remember there's a 1 in front of this, so 38 minus 1 would be 37, x squared y. Again, there's a 1 in front of this second term, so you would have negative 11, a squared b squared. The fraction one may have been a little difficult for you without your usual calculator, but if you would change them to terms with common denominators, you would have 6/15 and 5/15. So when you subtract them, you get 1/15 CD squared. Number 10, negative 50 plus 1, we would have a negative 49 AC squared D. The bottom of the page, you have 12. You have an A term. It's all by itself, so we're going to keep that 8A. Combine 12 and negative 10. That would give you a positive 2B. In number 14, we can combine this 10 minus 1. We would get 9m squared n, and keep the second term plus 7mn squared. 16, the word difference. Hopefully you remember that means subtraction. So we're going to subtract these two terms, and 10 minus 2 would equal 8 x squared y. And last but not least, we have negative 9 CD squared. We want to subtract this negative 2 from that term. When we have two negative signs, they will turn into a positive. So I will add negative 9 with 2, and that would equal negative 7 CD squared. That concludes our lesson on adding and subtracting monomials. For right now, I'm going to stop there, and I am going to assign you the first half of our homework sheet with this lesson today, and then we'll move on to the second page of the notes in terms of multiplying monomials tomorrow. I hope this works out okay for all of you. If you have some suggestions on any ways I could make this better or anything that you're having trouble with, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and good luck.